Good evening and welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. Today is a back-to-back podcast show. Reason being, there's so much in the news today that I just can't sit by and let it go over my head without talking about it and putting some common sense to this thing. Or let's try and make some common sense out of it or break it down to its lowest common denominator where we can truly understand it. um, First, I want to talk about Donald Trump. He announced his candidacy for running for president in 2024. Um, Me personally, excuse me, I don't understand it. Um, there's an old saying that you have to be just as wise to know when to get off something as it is to stay on it. So I don't know what Trump could possibly think he could gain by running for president in 2024. I think this past election on the 8th showed that people in this country, they're waking up. They're waking up to the BS. They're waking up to the reality that we as a people, not color, as human beings, as Americans in this country, we are being manipulated. We're being led around and to do what our leaders that we elect into office to serve and protect us and the country. And people are waking up to that. And when you look at uh, other countries, other dictators, I think President Xi, China, I think he's a lifetime president. Donald Trump called him a king, said it's a good thing. Well, a lifetime president, I mean, it's a good thing. It can be a good thing if the individual uh, is true to heart when it comes to democracy, freedom of speech, uh, protecting the rules of law, equality and justice for all, equal justice for all, uh, looking out for the climate and not letting uh, big corporations and big money control uh, people's lives and the course of the planet. But only time can tell the effects of the dictator if it's not right away. I mean, there are effects right away that we can see. Excuse me, like things that happen on January 6th, things that happen on our election. How can you have Republicans, excuse me for this cough, but how can you have Republicans that uh, supposedly loyal to the country, to the Constitution, and turn their backs on it in the drop of a hat and holler foul because their leader lost. And then these same people now, they're still in office and running around. How do people expect change from these people? Me personally, I would think you all would have to go. You got to go. You put your reputation and your job on the line. Just as Liz Cheney, when she went up against, it wasn't Trump that she went up against. She went up against morality. She went up against her soul, her beliefs. And she knew that what uh, Trump was saying and what he was doing, she knew in her heart and soul, and based on her experience as a politician, knew that it wasn't true. And she stood her grounds for it. And in the process, for doing that, the other Republicans who believed and thought that Joe Biden stole the election, okay, they got rid of Liz Cheney. She lost her seat because of the truth. Now, if she can lose her seat because of the truth, now that it has came out, all the evidence that's came out that Donald Trump, that this whole stuff was planned. And I saw an interview last night of Mike Pence, the vice president for Trump. And this interview had me glued to the screen because the question that was asked him, and he answered them. When some got a little tough, he said, "Well, I'm gonna leave that to the American people." I mean, okay, I could go along with that. But after that interview, I don't know how any Republican that supposedly believed that the election was stolen from Trump and the things that they've said supporting Trump, knowing it was a lie. And now that it has been exposed that it was a lie, Trump knew about it, planned it. Those politicians, to me, should be kicked out of office. They should be handed a pink slip, just as Liz Cheney more or less handed a pink slip for the truth. Okay, so now these guys that did that and caused all this insurrection, attempted coup, and all this stuff in the lives of people. You mean that life goes on as normal for these people after what they have done? They can sit back now and continue to, life as usual, man. No, that's wrong. I think that's hypocrisy to the highest. But just like uh, Pence said when he asked him a question, and Pence said, "Well, I'm gonna leave that up to the American people." And I'm coming to the conclusion that the American people, they don't know things they should know and participate in. They don't. You know, it's like it's like you're a diluted Christian. You're a convenient Christian. You follow you follow God's laws when it's convenient. But when you're backed up against a wall and nobody's watching you do anything. But we've got to bring some trust We've got to bring some trust back into our democracy. Our Constitution is only as good as the paper is written on. If people don't stand behind it, stand up for it, it's nothing. And I'm not here to talk about some Republican Party, Democratic Party. I'm here to talk about people. You've been elected. You was elected, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution and obey the laws and the rules and take care of the planet and take care of the American people that's needed and help them to move forward to make this a better country for ourselves and for our children, their grandchildren, their grandchildren. And it's a shame to this day, you sit back and you can hear them talking on the news that in the next 50, 60 years, this planet may not be fit for human uh, habitation. We doing it. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. And then someone can sit in their living room or whoever it is, and somebody can say something, you don't like it, all of a sudden oh man, you upset. Freedom of speech. We had to go out and hurt people, do this, do that, hurt somebody. For what? For what? What you need to be focusing on, what you need to be focusing on, and I mean all of us right now, is survival. We need to be focusing on survival because all I'm hearing right now, I'm hearing a lot of talk about inflation. I'm hearing a lot of talk about everything is going up. And on the flip side, not on the flip side, on the same side, I'm hearing about all the record breaking profits that's being made by the rich, by the big corporations, big companies, energy companies, food companies, clothing companies. Everybody's making money. But then there's an inflation. Have you ever thought about the reason that we're having this inflation? Is because we're being gouged. We're being overcharged by the rich and the people in charge. So while we running around here fighting each other over nothing, some people losing their lives over nothing. Some people going to jail over nothing. But you don't know you're being used. We all are. And when we really think about it, if we really think about this thing and just give it some common sense from the beginning, this whole economic system, and I'm not an economist. I don't claim to be uh, all that smart when it comes to the economy and how things work, but there's common sense to it. You know, throw some questions out there because at the end, this is a system that was set up by some people, by some business people. It was set up, okay, and it was set up with their money. And over time, their money it expanded, and they went in and they would just buy more and do this and create jobs, and you create money for the system to make the system work. But at the beginning, it all started out with these handful of people with the money that made the system. And those same people, families, they still own everything today. And what happened is we are getting further, or we have gotten so far away from doing things ourselves as a people. You know, the neighborhood stores. We have a few now, but back in the day, there was neighborhood stores, businesses, shoe repairs, and great sandwich shops, and uh, just just clothing stores in the neighborhood, where people in the neighborhoods they had money. The neighborhoods things were safe. People knew you knew your neighbors. But today we gave all that up to big business. We gave it all up to big business. No, you go in a big store like Walmart, man, you got everything. You got the TVs, you got the foods, you got clothes, you got furniture, everything. So we got rid of the mom and pop store. So now, once you done got rid of the mom and pop stores, and the only store you have to shop at is these big stores, and they can control. They got you, so to speak. If they want to charge you $10 for a loaf of bread, if you want to eat some bread, then you're gonna have to pay $10 for it if you want it, because you no longer have that store in the neighborhood. You don't teach people how to cook anymore. There was a time a long time ago, quite a while ago. I had some friends. I had some friends over my house for dinner, and so I asked who was cooking. I asked her husband brought some fish or something. He brought it over. I said, "We're cooking. We just sit there and we eat and we have some dinner." But to my amazement, the young lady did not even know how to peel a potato. You know, um, so now everybody's eating out. Eating out costs money. I just had a little something from a truck. Matter of fact, I was talking to a street vendor just yesterday, and I was telling him I bought a soda for him. He only charged $1 for it. And I told him, I said, back in the day, I said, I used to be a street vendor. And I said, the food trucks, I said, people didn't even want to eat out of a food truck because they thought the truck was unsanitary. And I said, the purpose of the truck in the first place was the fact that you could come for $5, $4. Hey, you could get a sandwich, you could get a soda, and you could get a bag of chips. It's $3 or $4. And I said that was perfect because people wasn't making a lot of money. And guess what? And then people could, at least you could eat. And the food truck started by low income people trying to make money, trying to help people. But then after it was seen how much money could be made, then the rich came in with their money, or people came in with their money and saw the amount of money that could be made. Now the sidewalk sales food business, now that's skyrocketing. You used to get a food vending license for $30. Now it might be $3,000. I don't know. And now you go in there, I bought a little something like a little falafel and some rice. Charge $9 for that. 4 little falafel balls, rice. You take 50-pound bag of rice and feed 200 people or more. You understand? And plus, with a food truck, you don't have the overhead. So why are you charging so much money? Excuse me. And this is the problem. So this is where inflation comes in. Inflation comes in that people are robbing the people. They're overcharging everybody for everything. Because like I said yesterday in my podcast, The October was the record. These big companies made record profits. All of them. Wall Street, the investors, all of them. Investors making all the money. They don't have to even do anything. They just put the money there, sit back, make millions of dollars doing nothing. But the money is coming from somewhere. Where's it coming from? Where's all these profits coming from? They're coming from you. And that's what they're doing. That's creating inflation for you, for the low income, for the middle class 1 and 2. That's where these record profits is coming from. Because there's money out here, people, but it's just in the hands of a few. I'm talking, and the reason that I'm out here talking, I'm not, I know people. I'm uh, sitting up here. I'm just trying to. I've lived a life. I've learned a lot, and to me, that's how you learn. You learn through experience. I mean, you can know some things, but to actually learn something, you have to go through it. You have to go through it so you can feel it. You can talk about it. And I think that's the problem. See, we got all these politicians, all these leaders. They haven't been through anything. Nothing. But yet they're gonna come and tell you how it feels, tell you what you need, you know. And what I'm looking at now, you know, politicians and all this uh, down in Washington and all these, it has become like a cash cow now. I listen at the news and all I'm hearing is billions being thrown out for this and billions being thrown out for this and hundreds of millions being thrown. Well, where's the money? Where's the evidence of it in the neighborhoods? Where is it? Where's the money? But then you'll hear something, oh, this person here in charge of nonprofits is supposed to be getting all these 80, 90, $100 million, supposed to be helping the poor, is going to the rich. Is going to their friends, so they can build stadiums or something, whatever they want to build. And we just found out about this maybe a few months ago. But how long has this been going on? And when you really think about it, I'm just using common sense. I'm not trying to change nobody's mind, but I'm just using some common sense with this stuff. Now, if this is going on, and here you are handling all these millions of dollars for poor people you don't even know, for poor people you don't even care about, poor people that can't even check the amount of money that has been allocated for you to get, they don't even know. It's an open book. You can do anything you want to do with the money. People don't know. You can give it to your friends. You can do whatever you want to do. And how long has this been going on? This could have been going on. We just found out about something like this a few months ago. This could have been going on for the last 20, 30 years. Because poverty hasn't helped. What has it done? It hasn't helped anybody. It's you don't want to just constantly stay sick all your life. You want to get well, right? And that should have been the purpose of this money, to help people elevate themselves. But they're not. The people that need the money isn't getting elevated. The people that's getting the money is supposed to be allocating the money to the people that need it. They're keeping the money for themselves. It's proven. I'm not just making this up. So, and I'm just saying all this to say that when it comes to this inflation thing, you know, what's going to happen is it's going to come back to bite people. It's going to come back to bite the rich. But it's not going to affect the rich because the rich already got the money, you see. But it's just going to make dire need for the low income and middle class 1 and 2, because what's happening is they putting everything is going up Your money is staying the same, right? So that means you don't have any money. You're not gonna have any money to spend outside of the money for your food and your heat. That's it. And your rent. That's it. Money for anything else you're not gonna have. So the only people that's gonna make money in the business arena are the rich because they can afford to come out and spend the money. Yes, you don't have. You don't have. Where you gonna live? You're not gonna be able to live anywhere. Where you gonna live? They're building all these apartments. My neighborhood, I bet you have maybe they'll put up maybe 1,500, maybe even 2,000 units. Just building, man, building, building, building. Because these rich people have so much money, they have to put this money somewhere. No point just having money just laying around. It's just paper. You put it in a building, building's there, man. It don't have to even be empty. Nobody has to even live in it. But it's there. And it's your building, just a matter of time. Lifetime investment. You understand? But at the same time, you're getting poor and poor all the time. Something has to be done to put the brakes on this. And the only way the brakes is going to be put on this, you have to put the brakes on it. You've got to use some common sense. Understand? And there's a way. There's a way to do this thing. But we've got to stop being greedy. We've got to start realizing that it's not even about us. It's about the future generations. We are Americans. I don't care. We are Americans, and we should not be in the situation that we're in. This is our country. All of us. This is our country. And for things to be like they are, and for these politicians who we have voted for and put into office that have abandoned us, abandoned the rules of laws. They think they're better than us. They work for us. And it's time for us to let them know that. And if you don't do your job, you are let go. You got to stop it, man. If we the people don't put the brakes on these people and bring back America, bring back the laws, the rules of laws that they hold for everyone. No one is above the law. No one. And this is just how it is. And I heard another thing I heard today about Elon Musk, Twitter. He don't want that firing everybody. But guess what? The people complain about it. But you know what? Me personally, I don't even think they should have sold it to him. But just my idea. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Don't mean nothing. But he went in there firing. He done fired half the people. Then he gave the other people an ultimatum. He said, "Well, look, when you come in," he said, "I want you to work." That's right. He said, "I want you to knuckle down and work." And he said, "If you can't do it, let me know in 3 or 4 days." I think he said, "I give you either 2 or 3 months severance pay or something like that, and you can go." Yeah, he said, "Take it or leave it." That's what he told them. People complain about it, but guess what? That's his Twitter. He can do that. He can do that. See, this is the problem that people slowly are waking up to. You see, when you let all these a few hands own all the pots. You have no say so. You either have to go with it or die or scrub the rest of your life or something. But they own it all. What does Elon Musk care about? $42 billion, $50 billion. What does he care about? He's a trillionaire. A trillionaire is $1,000 billion. $1,000 billion. What do you care about $42 billion? Hmm? Nothing. But that's powerful. That's a powerful thing he got there. But it's only Twitter. It's only, excuse me, Twitter is only as powerful as the people that's on it. But I'm not against anybody. Do whatever you want to do, man. People make money, and they make it. But at the same time, people, you can't complain if you're not doing anything. But man got SpaceX. Man, he's using his money. That's why they say money makes money. You don't have to be a genius. You got money. You can do anything. SpaceX. That's the next thing, man. Space travel, space exploration. That's the next thing. Because the planet Earth is on its way out. Okay, let's be realistic. You can't cover all this stuff up. They ain't going out there spending all this money, billions of dollars out going out of space just to be going out of space. You understand? But they can have, as far as I'm concerned, they can have outer space. Outer space is just what it says, out of space. Outer space. So that means you're out nowhere. That's what it means. You're creating a civilization in nowhere. So all this stuff, it's we going from I think we're going from human to uh what's it called? Androids or something. Uh to the point that the human body was not one it's gonna be changed altogether over the period of time, but it's gonna be changed in outer space. And it's frightening in one sense, but it's a new horizon. It's a new horizon that only for the select few is going out there. And you need to face the fact. Everybody, oh, we're going out of space just like we're going out there. We ain't going. We need to start. We should have been doing a long time ago, but better sooner than later. But we need to secure and start thinking about this earth and putting some time and money into survival, into our survival here on earth. We need to look at and start getting things done in America. We need money. We need minds. We need working people that work together, not just for yourselves, but for people. I talk to people a lot about nonprofit and about just business in general. And they always talk about me, 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 me. And I told the guy, uh, I told him I had a nonprofit that I'm working on. And he wants to tell me the way he was talking, like uh, uh, like it's about me making money. And I told him, I said, I said, a nonprofit means just what it says. It's a nonprofit, you know. Because I'm not working for myself. There's plenty of people that's in need of. And it isn't all about just giving someone money. It's about teaching them how to make money. You know, it's teaching them how to make money and truly helping people. And then when you help them, then you teach them how to maintain. It's a process. You just don't take somebody off the street. Here's a house for you. Boom, go. What are you gonna do with it? How you gonna maintain it? And this is what seems to be the problem. You know, there's a process to things. And it's time for us to look back and look at where we are now and start doing some evaluating. Because we can see it's not doing anything. Where's all the money? And then these people is taking all the money, they get a little slap on the wrist. Okay, don't do that no more. Okay, we're gonna give you um, we're gonna give you 6 months in jail. Oh, but we're going to um, say time served. Okay, and a week of community service. Now this person stole damn near 200 million, embezzled people money from senior citizens and baby funds and schools, charity funds, and all this kind of stuff that they be doing. And that's what they get. Here's a poor man out here. He go ahead and try and just, I mean, stealing any kind of steal. I mean, it's wrong, but he hungry. He'll do this and steal maybe $20. Ain't hurt nobody. Oh, he'll get 10 years in prison, without a doubt. And the prisons are privately owned. It is a business on Wall Street, from what I hear. Hmm? Civilization. You know, because nobody's going to tell me with all the knowledge and money in this country that this crime could not have been prevented. It's not, it doesn't take a whole lot of police officers and guns and do all that. It takes education. So that's all it takes. Education and money being put in the right place. But in an economy like this, where money is made off of everything, and this is what's wrong. People are getting charged too much for everything, everything. I just, you know, it's just greed, man. It's greed, and we call it. We just put another name to it. But we're creating this inflation on the low income and middle class one and two. Um, what else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, one thing too. I heard that Donald Trump's daughter and son-in-law, they're giving up uh, politics. They said this time Donald Trump is on his own. But I heard on the news too that his son-in-law, you know, got this is a few months ago, got a $2 billion loan or gift or whatever it was from the Saudis $2 billion is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So you don't hear too much about that in the news. I just happen to hear it on the news today. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, it looks like, Trump made out pretty good. Nobody don't know what he made. Nobody know what money he got. Nobody know taxes. Nobody know nothing about it. So what is it? What is it with this? When he's so infatuated with becoming president of the United States, someone like that is kind of scary. For what reason? Not the money. You know, and the way he is, he's I mean, he looks to be little mental, could be a little mentally unstable there. Could be, just on what I'm seeing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I am a life consultant. We know people, know how people think, I know what makes them think on some occasion, or in some situation. So it's just the fact that I think if people start realizing and valuing, putting the value where value should be, that's on human life, not on money. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the only money that you make, you'll spend that money on preserving your life, the life of your children, the life of your grandchildren, and we all need to work together to make this world a better place for us to live. We all need to do that. We all need to do that. You know what? I wrote something. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I might, I like talking. Hold on one second. Give me a minute. Uh, okay. I'm kind of like my podcast is it's a little well, it's kind of original, but hey, it's just common. It's like it's common sense. Podcast is just common. It is what it is, man. Um, this one title is "The Purpose of Welfare Going to the Rich." Okay. Um, hmm. Then I have one right here. Like this is just what I'm talking about now. Too much value is placed on money and not enough on life. After reading the heading, you say to yourself, "Has this guy lost his mind?" First, let's determine money as a medium of worthless value exchange for value. Okay. Uh, After reading the heading, okay, we're gonna go to let's define money as a medium of worthless value exchanged for value. That's pretty deep right there if you think about it. Think about that for a second. It's pretty deep. But it's the truth though, as I see it. Because you can look at things, and we can all get a different interpretation of what we've seen. But that's why uh, that's what made uh, Jesus such a great teacher. He taught in analogies. He broke things down to its lowest common denominator where people could understand it. You see, and today we have gotten away from that. Today it's just too much fine print. They're gonna tell you something's important, but yet you need a magnifying glass to read it. And then when you don't follow the instructions, when you say, Where was it? He said, it was right there in front of you. You said, well, where? Then you had to go get a magnifying glass to read it. That's not the way it should be. Anything that's important should be in bold letters, I would think. What do you think? Where did fine print come from unless you're trying to hide something from somebody? So right away, you know, this treachery, dishonesty. I uh, I entered into an agreement with the contractor. So he wrote the agreement, and I read it. He wrote it, but the way he wrote it, excuse me, he wrote it for him. I said, oh no, that was his agreement, which he's entitled to write his agreement. But then I wrote my agreement. I wrote my agreement. Uh, no fine print, straight to the point. Boom, boom, boom. This is it. And I sent it to him. I said, well, this is my agreement. He read it, signed it, deal's done. That's how you do things. I'm not trying to get over on anybody. I just want to. I'm trying to protect myself from you because I don't trust you. Then you got to have all these lawyers brought in. Truth needs no explanation. Truth needs no lawyers. See, all this comes under the umbrella of dishonesty. That's why you need all this stuff. I never ripped anybody off. That's what's wrong with the world. We created all this mess. Fine print. Man. And then the next line is the real value is you. Your needs to live are the determining factor in the degree of life sustainability in keeping you slash life alive. That's the value. The value is your life, and you put the sustainability of what is necessary to sustain to keep your life alive. That's put the value on that thing or things that's sustaining your life. You know, just like they say, food, clothing, and shelter. Air, food, clothing, and shelter. That's why it costs so much money. You know, wintertime, it's cold. You got to have heat. And if I got oil, I'm the only man that has the oil. I charge you whatever I want to charge you. You got to pay it if you want to keep cool, if keep warm. Do you understand? This is why you cannot, it's not good to consolidate. You know, to have a few people or one person owning it all. It's not good. It's not good at all. And things need to change. We're not talking about upsetting anything. We're just talking about being a part of it and taking our neck off the chopping block. That's all I'm talking about. Because right now, people, our neck is getting closer and closer to the chopping block. This ain't got nothing to do with color. It's just money. Money. They got so much money they will never spend and they still want more. That's why I was shocked when I heard about what Elon Musk has said about his about the people working at Twitter. You know, he said, "Look, you got to knuckle up and grind, or get your servants pay and go." and he can do that. And if you want to work, you don't have no choice but to grind. That's it. So, but it would be nice. It would be nice if if people could have like maybe a 4-day work week, you uh, and better working conditions. And now that people need to be held to certain standards, certain levels, you know, and demands should be put on people. Nothing wrong with that, but not overly demanding just because you can. Not overcharging people just because you can. Because nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And this thing is frightening. It's frightening what's coming down the pike, and people really don't see it. Because if they did see it, you know, I think those Republicans that supported the insurrection, they wouldn't be in Washington right now. Or not just them, but anybody that did what they did, regardless, Democrat, Republican, whatever, shouldn't be allowed to do that. That goes against our democracy, the Constitution. So why should you be allowed to do that and still serve and get paid? Just shouldn't be. Um, and what's this say right here? What's this say? Let's see. All the bad stuff people consume in their bodies and minds. There are effects manifested spiritually and physically, which has enabled a multi-trillion-dollar healthcare system. Hmm. Uh, speaks for itself. Speaks for itself. Um, People, we've got to take better care of ourselves. It's a must. You sit there and you just stuff food in your mouth, and I've never seen so much obesity, especially among young people. And it's all going to come back. It's all going to everything, and it's just as simple. It's not even complicated. Just take a minute. Just take a minute out of your habits or whatever you're doing, and just sit down and just think about it for a minute. You if you just say, you know what, I'm eating, what I'm putting in is coming out, and also my body is feeding off of what I'm putting in it. So that's going to determine how your body's going to be. But first of all, before you even do that, do you even know what it takes for your body to be healthy? Do you know what you need to eat for your body to be healthy? Do you know the amount of what you eat is needed? Do you know what happens if you put uh, an overabundance of certain things in your body? What happens? These are things that need to be taught. So they need to be taught. These things are important. These things are important because you develop around everything that's been put into your body and your mind. And that's what's missing. That's what has been missing to so many of our people. So now when you see the results of it, oh, we're looking at it. No, no, it's not that. You just haven't been taught. You understand? You haven't been taught. Um, I wasn't taught when I was coming up. Um, I never had the chance to. I never had the chance to go to college. Um, I never had the chance to prepare when I was coming up, like these children today, to prepare for the job. I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was anything outside. You could make money outside of a job, work for someone. Never taught that. I was never even taught about anything other than the environment where I was living. Never. But I am I am so happy with myself. I'm so happy with my place right now. I'm so happy with how I feel. I'm so happy that I have a purpose in life. I'm so happy that I'm surrounded by good people. I'm so happy that I don't worry about anything, and my life is complete. I'm so happy that I am happier than I've ever been in my entire life, and I'm happy that I'm just beginning to live. So, and I'm just happy, and I'm so blessed. But and this is how it should be. But when I think of how I am now and how I feel now, based on my my life and the abuse that I've put my body through, and I'm just thinking, what if I had really, really applied myself, used my mind, developed myself? Where would I be? Man, I'm telling you, it blows my mind. Blows my mind. Because the mind is everything. Mind is everything. See, the body is what we need to maneuver through this point in time, okay, to protect, the mind, the soul, the essence of life within. You know what I mean? It's like that example of life when you see the leaves on a tree moving back and forth. But you don't see what's causing that. We call it wind. It's energy and motion. You see. So the power that we have within us, power that we're capable of, is within us. We know nothing about. Nobody's never even told us about it. We just hearing about it a little bit. You know, those things you call miracles. Miracles, they're you. That's you bringing something into the dimension that you're not even aware that you're causing to happen. And you call it a miracle. But it comes from a consciousness that we call a godly consciousness. And even when you read, see, a lot of things that we we do, in a lot of ways that we live, we don't really understand it. You get somebody up there on a pulpit and they get to explain stuff about the Bible, this and that. They don't really tell you. They have a Bible, they're reading something. They're reading something out of the Bible, okay? And they interpreting interpreting it their way. This could be the right way. I'm not saying it's not. And passing the plate. So you're going home with less than what you came with. And the thing about it is, the for what my experience is, what I have learned from it, is that, your body says in the Bible, Quran, is a, your body, your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Body is your temple. And when you think about it, makes sense. Makes sense to me because uh, what's in us, the body is what uh, holds the spirit that's in us. The body is what has been developed with the arms and the eyes and the mouth. Everything we need to survive on this planet Earth. This is what we are to protect the life that's in us. And it says you reap what you sow. Common sense. Whatever you put in here, hey, guess what? That's what's going to come out. Whatever you do, it's going to come back to you. Common sense. It's just common sense. So you sow, so shall you reap. Common sense. Common sense. Common sense. People don't understand like the 12. They said Jesus had 12 disciples. 12 disciples physically, but 12 disciples spiritually, 12 basic nerve centers in the body that he had control over. 12 basic nerve centers that he talked to, that he got energy from. So it's a whole lot of things that we need to study. Because just to live a life for money, we need it. But just to live your life for money, that's it. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. I think so. But if you never get a chance to experience anything, then you don't know of anything. You just assume. You go through life assuming, oh my goodness, if I get so much money, this is gonna be it. My whole life is gonna change, blah blah. But you have to live for yourself. And you'll be surprised to learn that the greatest gift and the greatest reward in life is you're helping someone. Really, truly helping someone, you know. Because everything else is just come and go. And find your purpose. Find your purpose to live because everything has a purpose. If you don't have a purpose to live, then why are you living? Why are you living? There's no purpose for you, so you shouldn't be here. Think about that too. It's a purpose for everything. You know? You may not be doing this. You have one person over here doing this. Just because you're not doing what that person is doing or accomplishing what that person is accomplishing doesn't mean you're any less of a person than that person. It says seek and you shall find. You just need to keep searching your purpose out. Keep doing things. You'll find it. It'll come. And when it comes, it'll be worth all the stuff that you did, everything that you've been through. Well, but you just have to do it. You have to venture out. You got to get out of that nonsense. And you can't let people just come through and tell you, hey, you know what, the sky is falling. And all of a sudden, you start thinking about it. Say, you know what, this person crazy. You go find you somewhere to put your head on a rock. And that's what people be doing. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. We've got to start holding these politicians accountable. We got to start putting some term limits on these people that's in the Senate, and Congress, and all these other places that they stand in 30 and 40 years till you get to a point whereas now, they like a piece of furniture. So now it's too much power. It's power. And then also we got to have some type of transparency. You know, give the money, but let's see some efforts of that money. That's all. And hold these people accountable. You got a job, do it. If you don't do it, then you got to go. You see what Musk did when he came in? He told the people, had the people in Twitter, got to go. You either got to work like this or get your service pay and go. Politicians, took an oath, do this. If you ain't doing the job, guess what? You got to go. Same. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. People, thank you so much. I know I've been ramming. Oh man. But anyway, it's always good. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Where's that? Where am I at?